What's going on, STO Nation? Welcome back to another Mindset Monday with myself, Mike Sjogren, and my good buddy, Mike Riley. And today we want to talk about a principle that I live by. It's one of my core principles, and that is never let your ego get in the way of your wallet. And this is super common. I've fallen guilty of it in the past, but it is something that in business, I have found that you cannot let your ego get in the way of your wallet, right? And we'll give a couple examples of that. And so I've got plenty of examples, but one of them that's actually fairly recent, and Mike has heard about this a little bit offline, but we're in the middle of doing a deal, and there's been a couple times that some people involved in the transaction, I'm not even going to get into what categories because I don't want to incriminate anybody or whatever. I'm not trying to talk smack, but there were a couple points that I was just like, I just don't even want to do business with this person. Like, they're driving me absolutely nuts. Like, I'm ready to just say, screw these guys. Like, they don't deserve this business, blah, blah, blah. Right. And that's all my ego. Like, it's 100% my ego. Like, I deserve better than this or whatever. I'm not even going to do the deal because of this. Now, if I take a step back and take a few breaths and just settle myself down, just hearing yourself say that, it can sound ridiculous, because at the end of this day, this deal makes complete sense. It's going to make a lot of money, and it's just going to be a cool property that we're going to get to use. But if I let my ego get in the way of that deal and just walk from this deal for whatever reason, because somebody upset me or things aren't going the way that I wanted them to, it's going to hit my wallet. And I never want to let my ego get in the way of my wallet. Right. Another example was when I was first starting out in this business, I had met somebody, a lead that I was talking to about managing their property for them. And after I spent all this time helping them analyze the properties and showing them all the upside and everything we could do, they were like, that sounds really cool, but I think we're just going to do it ourselves, right? Like, after I had put in all this work to try and show them different things on how we could make this property really stand out, they just said, you know what? We just want to do it ourselves. And instead of just getting angry about it and saying, yeah, good luck, you're good luck trying to do as best as I could or whatever, getting angry about it and letting my ego get in the way, I was like, okay, cool. Totally get it. Here's a couple pointers for you. You're going to want to do this, this, and this. It's going to help make your life a lot easier. Right. And then about 6 months later, I get a call from that person, and they were like, hey, really appreciate the pointers, but just, where I'm at in life, like, I still don't really have the time to do this thing. Would you still be interested in running this property? Right. And I got 3 properties from that one person. Plus, they introduced me to a couple other people who introduced me to a couple other people, and so on and so forth. But if I let my ego get in the way of saying, do you know how much time I put into this deal? Like, this is ridiculous. Like, I should be getting this deal. If I let my ego get in the way, I never would have had that relationship with that person. They definitely wouldn't have called me back when they got tired of running it themselves. They would have looked for somebody else, and it would have cost my wallet a lot of money because I let my ego get the best of me. So I think you got some examples there too, Mike, from a different angle of letting your ego get in the way.
Yeah, a little bit different angle. So it's more about like myself opening up really to someone who was more senior to me and kind of putting my ego aside. So my second sales job out of college, I was working for about $1 billion company. I had just gotten hired by somebody who's been in the industry for about 30 years. So it's a tech sales job. It was my first like field sales role. I was responsible for, there was 5 people under me. I wasn't managing them directly, but we were all a part of the same sales number or quota. So there's 5 people's livelihoods that were under me. And then I was reporting to this person who just hired me. I was 26 years old. Everybody else in that position, all my peers that were sales reps were 40, 50. They had 20 years experience and things like that. So I came in with a lot of energy and with a big ego, like a big head. And I was like, I'm going to prove my boss right. And I'm going to kick the crap out of everybody else in the team. I'm going to hit 200% and make a bunch of money. And I'm going to do it on my own because I'm better than everybody else. And so that lasted about, I'd say 3 or 4 months, and I wasn't doing well. Like I realized like, all right, my numbers are crap. Like the people under me, they're kind of second guessing me because, I'm new to this job. I'm younger. I'm a lot younger than everybody else. And so I decided I I don't really remember how or why, but I decided to have a conversation with my boss and say, look, I'm new to this role. I'm new to sales. I'm new to this company. I need help. Like I need you to teach me how to do this, and we're gonna make a bunch of money together, but I need some help. And so, I really wanted to prove him right, prove him that I was a really good hire. But then his response to me after I asked for help was, I know. I've been waiting to see if you were smart enough to ask me for help. So after that, we ended up just having a fantastic year. I did finish number one in the company, got all a bunch of awards and stuff like that. And I not only asked him for help, I asked all my other peers for help. I asked the people under me for help, and we all came together as a team and all lined our wallets. So I was putting my ego in front of my wallet, whereas really all I was thinking about with that job is doing well, right? And making a bunch of money. But putting my ego aside and saying, all right, I can't do this alone. I need to go get help from experts, go get help from a boss, go get help from everybody else. And I found, after I reflected on that year, I found that nobody really came to me for help after that and said, hey, how did you have such a good year? And so I was like, wow, there's not a lot of people who are doing this. So I've taken that vulnerability or asking for help, and I've replicated that in other areas of my life as well. And it's turned out to be fantastic. One, for instance, is this short-term rental business. We wanted to start a short-term rental business. I was listening to all these different podcasts. I was listening to, reading books and stuff like that, networking with people. But until I joined the mastermind, the STR Secrets Mastermind, and made that investment and said, hey, I need to learn this stuff and pay for it. That's when it went from one property. Now we're at 13 properties and cash flowing over $20,000 a month. So magic can happen if you open up, put your ego aside and say, hey, I need to go find out who's doing what I want to do, whatever goal it is you want to hit, and open up, be vulnerable. And then you're going to line your wallets, and people are going to like you more because they're going to say, hey, that guy doesn't have a big ego. There's a good book called Ego is the Enemy by Ryan Holiday. Definitely recommend it. But yeah, it's a interesting concept, because usually we think, all right, if we want to hit a goal, like I'm going to do it, nobody else can do it better than me. But in reality, you can get to that goal so much faster with the help of others, and asking in the right way. So
100%. And that never changes. And it goes back to what we talked about before about like always be growing and never be satisfied. Like I spend a lot of money every year on coaches and mentors and mastermind groups that I'm a part of still. And people are like, why are you still doing that? I'm like, because there's always the next level and I want to get there faster. Like, I don't know how many days I got left, like I want to keep growing. I want to keep evolving. And that's just the fast lane. So again, putting my ego aside of like, yeah, I've had success in certain areas, but I know that there's huge growth opportunities here, and here that like I want to get to as quickly as possible. So then I can grow from that point to this point, to this point, to this point, and just keep going. But if I felt like, I got to do it all myself, that's just a slow lane, right? Like if you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, go with a team, right? And that saying has been said over and over again, but putting that ego in check, keeping your goals at the forefront and understanding like, this is what I want to get to. This is the person I want to become. Who can help me get along that journey? And not burning bridges or not feeling like I have to do everything myself, just swallowing your pride, putting that ego aside. And it's like, what's the end game? What do I want to get to? And logically, how do I get there faster? Right. And that's the whole point of this thing, is to just keep evolving as people and keep growing. And so that's it for this week. And again, if you're looking for some tools like Mike was talking about to help you launch, automate, and scale your short-term rental business, check out the free starter pack that we put together. It's completely free. Mike and I put some trainings together on how to analyze markets, how to analyze properties, how to build your teams, what technology do you need to use for this business. And it's completely free. All you got to do is text the word resources to 978-242-0001, and we'll hook you guys up totally free, just as a thank you for being a part of STR Nation. And Hope you guys are doing well. Love all you guys. Truly appreciate all you guys. And we'll see you guys next week. Take care, everybody.